What's going on, Real Estate Virgin Nation? Welcome to the Real Estate Virgins podcast, where we are here to help elevate your business. This is an agent-focused podcast, so if you are a new agent, whether you're in Texas, I don't care where you're at. If you're new and you're looking to elevate your business in the year 2023, you are in the right place.
We've got new agents, we've got old agents, we've got those agents that are veterans that make sure to let us know, hey, I've been in the business for 20 years.
Faxing over the offer documents.
And we've got agents from all over the United States listening, and it's really cool to see how fast we're growing.
Absolutely. It's been really great, especially since a few episodes back. I know I've been getting a lot of recent interactions with people who are listening. Shout out to you guys. This is why we keep doing this is when you give us feedback that something that we said resonated with you, that's what we're looking for. And it's why we do it. Like, we started this podcast because we've been in your shoes. I see it every single day on the Real Estate Mastermind group where people are saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know if real estate's going to be for me. I'm this long in. I haven't sold anything. I'm panicking. What do I do? That's what we're here for. We've been there. We've been through the exact freak out stage that a lot of people find themselves in when they get into it, and it's a lot more than what they expected. And hopefully this podcast can provide value for you.
And the difference between our podcast and a lot of other real estate podcasts is we're actually in the trenches doing the actual work day to day, right? We're representing clients at a high level. We're doing our best to learn every single day, and we're just here to share what we've learned and our experiences.
And I think another thing that separates us from others, that I can think of offhand, like a lot of those top ones, is we're at the ground level. We talk ground level information. This is day one, like handbook written stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these other ones, they're talking about when you're 20 years in, you've got millions of dollars to spend on real estate or whatever. Like, some people are out there just wishing, where the hell am I going to get my first sale from?
Yeah. And
that's where we're trying to bridge that gap, because there's such a high failure rate in real estate.
Yeah, isn't it like 80 to 90%?
Something like that, man. It's crazy. So nonetheless, if you're a returning listener, thank you guys so much for coming back. Good to see y'all look good today, man.
Yeah, y'all look really good.
Look at yourself. If you're in the car, look at that rear view mirror. You look good today.
If you're in the bed, get out of bed.
Call some people. Damn.
Go call some people. Go to the office.
If you're a new listener, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have a really great episode today. I'm really excited for this one. This is going to be a little bit different than our other podcasts. Like I said, we have this really big influx of listeners who maybe don't know what we're about, or they don't want to have to go back 27 or 26 episodes deep to get caught up to where we're at now. Yeah. And so we're going to do a recap episode for you. We went through and we took some of our favorite points. Ugh, voice crack. Holy. We took some of our favorite points from past episodes, and we're going to rehash them here, revisit them, re-talk them over.
And we've got new stuff, too, that we're going to add in with these lessons as well.
Absolutely.
But like the PowerPoints of past episodes is what we're going to go over. One of the first lessons that I want to talk about, and maybe I'm going ahead of ourselves, but recently, I was thinking about when I first got into real estate, and one of the main problems that I had in real estate when I first got in was comparing myself to agents that were at a different mark in their career, right? And so I would always belittle myself because I didn't have enough production as compared to other agents, right? And so one thing that I highly recommend newer agents is to not compare yourself, your production, to other agents that are way farther down the line, right? Or even if other agents are getting it faster than you, it doesn't matter. You're okay. Give yourself more time because
and give yourself credit.
Yeah,
real estate's freaking hard.
It is.
Like, it's okay if you're 6 months in and you don't have a sale. That was my experience. That was John's experience.
Yep.
And now, like, if you can weather that storm, you're going to be better on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So you just got to get through the suck to really establish yourself, and then you start seeing the benefits of why you went through that struggle period.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like starting a podcast or even starting a YouTube channel. Like those first months is like, we've got 5 listeners.
Bro, I remember whenever I first started on YouTube, and I don't do crazy numbers on YouTube by any means.
Not yet.
But I remember when I first started, and I would like take all this time and put a video together. I'd have to go film, then I edit it. I do like voiceovers. I do the captions, the titles, and I spend all this time on this product, and I put it out and it gets 3 views. And it felt so discouraging. Yeah. But
all you need, and guess what? Same thing in real estate. All you need is that one deal. All you need is that one video. All you need is that one podcast episode, and it will change your entire life.
And if you're, like content creation is such a different beast in and of itself. We're so big on content creation. It's kind of what we base our business on a little bit. Mm-hmm. That and genuine relationships and providing value. Yeah. But when it comes to content creation, it's easy to get discouraged. If I'm comparing myself to Jeremy Knight or Suman Kim, I'm going to sit there and go, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't have something of value to provide and that I don't have an audience that wants to hear what I have to say.
Yeah. And one of the main, core values of this whole podcast is how do we give, right? So we're constantly thinking about how we can give, and it's not always monetarily, right? It's most of the time it's knowledge, and knowledge is the best gift that you can give people. That's why you're listening to this podcast. We're teaching you, right? And eventually we believe in this, not eventually, we believe in this thing called the law of reciprocity. And we may go through it. I'm not sure if we're going to go through it again because I didn't see it.
Hit him with it, John.
Yeah, law of reciprocity. We've talked about this 3 or 4 times already. But the more you give, the more you get, right? And the thing is we give a lot and we don't expect anything in return. But the thing is if you go into every relationship, every transaction with a servant's heart, you're going to receive more.
Holy heck, we are firing on all cylinders right out the gate. I'm feeling good. Everyone's looking good. This is going to be a great podcast episode. So
let's get into this.
Yeah, let's do it. Before we get into the recap session, we're just going to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in our local market here in Austin. Austin, as you may or may not know, is a very unique space. It had the crazy growth in 2020 to basically Q1 of 2022 before hitting kind of a brick wall. And having some leveling is what the way I'll put it is it's not a crash. I don't believe in that word. But home values are down a little bit. So what we're experiencing may not resonate with you depending on where your market is and what you're uniquely experiencing. But what are you seeing in the market, John? Like,
it's pretty interesting. I was showing some houses the last few days to some particular clients, and I'm starting to notice more people showing up before the showing and after the showing, and that's giving me PTSD of 2021.
Yeah.
In 2021, it was a crazy frenzy. I do feel like, at least in the Austin area, we're starting to see a resurgence of buyers in the 300 to 400, 500,000.
That's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yep. And right now, this timing is, kids are getting out of school. This is the last week for school. So families are starting to think again about possibly moving. As a challenge for you guys, if you have any past clients that you haven't talked to in a while and they have families, when do you think is the most ideal time for them to move? It's in the summer. I want you to, as a challenge, before you even continue listening to this, put it on pause and call 5 of your past clients. If you have 5 past clients, call 5 of them and ask them how their current house is working out for them or their current situation. Find out if they need to upsize, downsize, what their plans are for the summer. Have those conversations. You'd be surprised what will come of it.
And before you get on that conversation, probably have some piece of value too. Like, hey, also, this cool event's happening near you. I just was wanting to remind you about it.
Exactly. That way you're not calling just to be like, hey, you got a sale for me?
Yeah. Or, hey, did you hear this new park is opening up near your place? I was just calling to know if you heard about it, or some cool piece of value.
Yeah. And I know that in Williamson County, we are seeing an uptick in the price per square foot. Okay. Month over month, which is really encouraging. February was the bottom of the year for us. Lowest price per square foot for homes sold was February. And for March and April, we have now seen an uptick in that. So that tells me one of 2 things. Either the volume is increasing and maybe offers are getting a little bit higher, or we're just closing more at a slightly higher price per square foot, which either way I think is really encouraging for listings. I think for a while listings have been getting the message of, well, it's not like it was in 2021. Like I don't know how quickly it's going to sell, or kind of a different conversation than what 2020 looked like, which was, hey, I'm gonna slap this for sale sign up and it's gonna sell over the weekend for $100K over asking, and you're gonna think I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
So really encouraging for listings. This is an interesting time because I think there's a good balance, because sellers are going to be happy because that traffic's getting to go again. I know Mandy and Natalie both had open houses last weekend, and they were really competitively priced houses. I think they were like 10, maybe 5 to 10% under market value. 20 plus showings at one of them, 40 plus at another. That's wild.
Both were staged very well, by the way. I went to go check out one of them, and it was staged very well. And
that's the one you did the video on, right?
Yes. I'm not.
That was a nice walkthrough.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is maybe we need to start considering, suggesting or splitting the price with, or, just staging is very important. If you want to get 20 showings over a weekend and price it correctly, you're going to get that house sold.
Yeah. And what's cool is staging is it may or may not be the thing that sells the house. But what's cool is, like, we've both worked with a variety of buyer clientele, and kind of seeing, like, some people like a vacant house because they can go through and not worry about what other people's stuff looks like in it. It helps them paint a better picture of how their stuff is going to look in the house. And then to the flip side, one of my recent clients, they said, I actually like that it's staged because I was struggling to figure out how I would utilize this space.
Well, 90% of buyers are finding their houses, the houses that they go under contract with, online. I think it's even more than 90%. So your house needs to look, or your listing needs to look amazing. It needs to online, because that's where they're seeing it.
And if nothing else, virtual staging is another thing you could utilize. I've been seeing that become more used, where if you're not going to actually pay the $1,500 to $2,000 to actually stage the place, and of course those numbers are give or take a little bit depending on the size of the house, location, and how upscale you need it to be. Virtual staging, it's relatively much more affordable, and you can still get that really nice first impression. Sometimes I worry though that just look at past product for people that you're considering hiring for virtual staging. Some of it looks really corny and like obviously digitally faked, but whenever it's really done well, it looks really nice.
Yeah. Hey, so did you hear about that debt ceiling scare recently?
Yeah. The world is ending. Panic is ensuing, and you're all screwed.
You're all screwed, guys. But yeah, there was a big scare, and from my point of view is, like, it always works out.
Yeah, this isn't. So if you're unaware, June 1st is this kind of tentative deadline that someone, I think it's like someone from the Department of Treasury or something, set, saying that if we don't pay, either increase our debt ceiling, we're going to default on our debt, which is not good as a nation. However, that has never happened. There's been delays. Like, I know that one, like, we passed, I want to say 2013 maybe. We actually went past that, and there was a little bit of, like, the panic and the repercussions of that, but it was nothing major. We made it out on the other side, and this happens so frequently. Like, since 2013, it's happened multiple times where we're coming up on the debt ceiling cap. And
did they say it was going to affect the real estate market at all? Yeah,
it was, 8% interest rates, 45% dip in the market, like the
45%.
Yeah, crazy. Unemployment's going to skyrocket.
So a 300,000 house is going to be like 160.
So this is, well, no, not necessarily like the real estate market, just like the like, what is it? The Dow Jones and stuff like that. Like our actual like economy, the markets of economy are gonna, gonna crash. Which, that's the media at work for you. I think if you buy in, like, notice they didn't say, "Hey guys, don't worry. Like, we've been here before. It's everything's screwed.
Yeah,
panic button.
Yeah."
And that has never...
It's all marketing for views.
Well, that's not sexy. It's not sexy to say, hey, guys, it's okay. We made it out many times before. No one's going to let this affect America like that greatly. Mm-hmm. Instead, it's, panic, time to panic. just like it always is. So anyway, media is not your friends in that regard, and we'll be all right. So don't get too caught up in that.
Yeah.
Kind of keep your thumb on it. You know, it's worth watching, and like that could be a negative impact in the short term, but we always make it out. So just stay on top of it.
Okay, so let's start recapping again.
Okay.
The first one is use your calendar. How important is it to use your calendar?
Well, using your calendar is big because it does a couple of things for you. For me, if it's not in my calendar, it's not going to happen. It's free. We all have a phone that has a calendar app on it that can set reminders that you can put your destination in, so it can tell you when you need to leave, little things like that. We have the technology to be efficient. You just have to allow yourself to utilize it and reap the benefit of it. I know I was not a calendar person before I got into real estate, and I can't imagine not using it now.
I think, there's that big saying that says if it's not in your calendar, it's not happening. And I agree. And I was at a networking event recently, and this agent he brought up the podcast, and he was asking me some questions. And he was saying that, what do I do in a situation where I need to lead generate, but my clients are wanting to go look at this house? And I told him, I was like, man, the thing is, if you don't respect your time, your clients aren't going to respect your time as well.
Ooh.
And so what happens is, if you say, I'm sorry, I cannot show that property because I've already got prior appointments, they're going to think one of two things. One, it's going to say, wow, he respects his time. So you know what? I'm going to respect his time. Two, it's going to say he has other appointments. He's busy. Other people respect his time, so I should respect his time as well.
Absolutely. And I also believe that to me, if you're a new agent and someone's like, hey, I want to go look at this house, right now or something, if you don't immediately say like, let me check my calendar real quick, and you're just like, yeah, let's do it like immediately, it somewhat screams to me that I have nothing else going on, and I might be desperate to help you right here now. And then you also set up the bad expectation that that's going to happen maybe every time.
Every time.
Yeah. And so if nothing else, just get in the habit of saying, let me check my calendar first. You pull it up. If you can't help them, fantastic. But you at least went through the motion of when you are going to be busy, you're going to need to do that. Practice for what you want to become, not where your current circumstance is, right? So getting those really good habits of saying, I'm going to check my calendar. I'm going to put these important dates in here. And plus, like, it's okay to respect your time. Like, if you have a family thing coming up, it's okay to say, hey, unfortunately, like, I'm not going to be available at that time. When else works for you? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say, oh, I've got little Billy's gymnastics at 3. Like, you can just say, no, unfortunately, I'm not available from 3 to 5. Is there any other time that works for you?
Yeah. Another thing is, and it sort of stints off of that, is I love it when I call an agent and their voicemail says, hey, sorry I didn't answer the phone. I'm either in an appointment right now or I'm showing houses, right? And so when you get that phone call, when you get that voicemail, it's like, oh, dang, this dude is busy, right? So that might be one tip for you guys, is to change your voicemail to let people know, hey, unfortunately, I'm either in an appointment or I'm showing houses. And that reminds them that you have other clients you're working with.
Yep. So use your calendar. It's going to be a time saver. It's going to be the best organizing tool that's free and available to everybody. Big calendar person.
Yeah. So lesson number 2.
Lesson number 2, if you're not on social media, you got to get over that. You need to get on social media. And why is that? It's free. It's free advertising to your network. There's so many things out there that are just fighting for your money. Google ads, Facebook, like, granted, some of this is social media. There are paid ways on social media to increase your reach or whatever. But man, everyone wants your money. Paying for leads and whatnot. Social media gets you constant, top of mind advertising to your network.
Yeah.
There's nothing more powerful than social media when it comes to being able to spread a message.
And my thing is I started my career off with posting videos on social media. And one of the first videos I did was just a hilarious video of me jumping on top of my chicken coop at my house in Leander and in a pimp suit and and saying, "Who wants to buy a house?" And then I cut to another clip of me like in normal clothes saying, "I want to buy a house." But it's funny because social media is a great way to connect with people, not only on a professional side, but on a personal side. People want to work with people that are real life and down to earth. And that's one way to utilize social media.
Yeah, people want to get to know the person that they might be working with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one way to be able to show who you are, what you're about for free. And the cool part is, like, I've spent $0 on Facebook ads, but I've gotten my largest sale to date from Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was someone posted in a group that they needed a realtor. Someone that I had connected with on Facebook for free made the connection for us.
Yeah.
Sent me the screenshot and said, "Hey, this person's needing a realtor, and I thought of you." And I immediately hopped on it, I looked that person up on Facebook, sent them an inbox, threw the Hail Mary that, they were going to open up their inbox and talk to me. And sure enough, that was almost $1 million listing. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity is there. And that's just, and I know you, like you say, like, we make videos, and a lot of times some of it's just for fun, but a lot of times we have a message to be sent, and our audience, the way that we get them to listen to that message is via social media.
And my thing is like, when we made, a couple of episodes back, we talked about building a business plan. I know that 5 to 6 videos, every 5 to 6 videos, I get a closing. So if I want 50 videos, I need to do 300 videos a year.
Yeah,
right?
or like 50 closings.
Yeah, 50 closings. I need to do about 300 videos a year. Now that doesn't have to be a big 4-minute long video. It can be a quick, "Hey guys, I'm over here at 123 Main Street. Look at this beautiful, island, Quartz Island. Taxes are great, 1.9%, and they're willing to give $5,000 towards closing." Any valuable information to share on that quick 45-second video. And it can, you can literally document your day throughout the day with your clients, with their permission, of course. And it's great content.
And it's building influence. It's showing that you're out about doing things. And one of the tips that we can give you regarding social media, everything throughout the process is a post. If I'm meeting with a new client, I might post, the picture of the coffee that I'm at and say, "Buyer consult, wish me luck," or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, when we're going to look at houses, you think I'm not taking pictures of the house while we're looking at it? Yeah. Of course I am. Putting it up on social media, making interactive things where I'm like, "Hey, like, this is how this house that I'm looking at or checking out today with these clients is a 4-bed, 2-bath located in Leander. How much do you think it is?"
Yeah.
Little interactive stuff. Final, the walkthrough or contract accepted. Boom. I'm making a post that I got one under contract. Out of option period. Boom. That's a post. Final walkthrough, that's a post.
Yep.
Closing, that's a post.
Yep.
Like, there's so many things, there's so many ways to make the single or the process of the whole transaction be post for your social media.
Yeah. And also with social media, we're talking about videos, and another thing is a ninja trick is to record videos, pre-recorded videos, and have them as evergreen videos. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so evergreen videos means that it's stuff that's there that can basically do work for you while you sleep. And it's something that's not specific to a specific house. It's not specific to a certain, like, client. It's stuff that's really kind of blanket, right? So, for example, John had mentioned YouTube videos. John and I each have videos where if we're going to go meet with a client and we land a listing appointment, the day before, we send them a video or a link to a video on YouTube, and it's of us introducing ourselves and giving some expectations for that meeting. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the great thing, and this is why this is one of our ninja tricks that we're going to talk about, is it breaks down the barrier in that wall of distrust because they feel like they know you. Before you even got there, that video did work for your benefit. Mm-hmm. And that's what the beauty of evergreen videos are. It can, and then, you can talk about, you can send them a video about what to do before an open house. how to declutter, like the process. We're going to get professional pictures done. You do so much work in that video, and you can use it for multiple clients. You can use it for all your listings where you're sending it to them. That's the cool thing about it.
You can document the entire transaction and give them checklists to do as well within those videos, right? So for me, my video before or after the listing appointment, I send them a video of, hey guys, if you have a bunch of storage, put it in the garage, because buyers don't care if there's a bunch of storage in the garage. Make sure you declutter as much as possible. If you need contacts to painters, to new flooring, to fix texture or fix dents in the wall, let me know. I have those contacts. And so it's just a very valuable video that I can send to every listing appointment, right? Every single one. And now it makes you look like the professional before you even get there.
Absolutely. And each video has a purpose, right? So evergreen videos might be for when I've already got the client. And then there's other videos where I'm trying to attract clients. Mm-hmm. And whenever you're doing things like those kind of videos where you're trying to get people to want to work with you, it's important to put a call to action in there. You don't want to do like a video walkthrough of a really nice house and then it ends and they are like, oh, cool house. And that's it.
Yeah.
You want to be the person that goes, hey, if you enjoyed this property tour, reach out to me. My contact information's in the description below. I want to help you and be a resource.
Now, here's the thing. I was reading this book recently. It was a great book, and it has a lot of really good tips. And I'll share the tips. I'm not going to share the book because it's really good.
Read your own damn book.
Read your own. But I will say, okay, most videos do have a call to action, and if they don't, they need them. But one way to take your call to action to another level, because in reality, in my opinion, I put, hey, call me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And honestly, I don't get too many calls. I'm not going to lie. I don't. But here's the thing. If we could do some type of soft sell, right, where it's, hey, if you want to know more about the Leander Cedar Park area, I've actually got this free guide where there's great restaurants, there's fun things to do with the family, free hiking areas, right? I've got this free guide. Just go to this landing page, right, and fill out your information. Now you've got their information, and it's people that are wanting to interact with you. They already have watched your videos, so they know you as a person.
They already put their info in saying, hey, I'm willing to put this out there and to receive what you have to offer.
Exactly. So that's another level of call to action. And I would say is even the next level is having some type of software where you can send them an automatic text message or or put them on a drip campaign that puts them on a newsletter.
Yeah, that's big brain. I'm gonna need a copy of that book. Is it the one that you shared with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna get that one. He just told me
we
about it
can't give
last
everything
night.
away.
Yeah.
We can't give that.
Come on, y'all. Okay. Next lesson is market to who you want to work with. If it's a buyer's market, the hell are you gonna make a listing video for? You're advertising to the more difficult aspect of real estate. If it's a seller's market, why are you advertising to buyers? You want to go through 2020 again? Just so Suman, in Suman's episode, flashback to him, he made a really good point that you attract what you put out there. So he said people associated higher end homes with me because that's what I was advertising.
I'm almost positive he wrote that. He read that book too.
Yeah, he might have, but I mean, it's so true. Like if you're advertising homes that are below market value, people are going to associate with you that you're the low market value realtor. If you're advertising $1 million plus listings, people are going to think you're a luxury listing or a luxury agent. So you want to put out there what kind of clients you want to work out or that you want to work with. Yeah. And that's, that I know for me, that episode was huge because that little nugget was like, okay, I noticed in my videos, I'm going after like the first time home buyer. I'm going after the more difficult client to work with, not the person who has been there, done that, maybe has a property to sell and they want to upgrade and get into this really nice $800,000 house that's in a gated community and whatnot. So
I think it's just so important to have an avatar of what your ideal client looks like, right? What's their income look like, right? What type of personality do they have? What area do they want to live in, right? And so if you focus on this avatar of what your ideal client looks like, and you really focus on that and not focus on anything else, what happens is you start attracting clients just like that. Just in the way you talk, the way you walk, your videos, your marketing.
The points that you're making make more sense to that audience when you've identified what the questions that they're going to have are.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're a new agent or if you're an old agent, like maybe sitting down and really being intentional about what that avatar of a client looks like, I think that's really good. And just focusing on that avatar is really going to help your business.
Yeah, because think about the content that's directed towards a first-time home buying millennial and how different that might look from the couple who's relocating from California who's looking to downsize. They've been through the process before. Those are two different kinds of videos and two very different kinds of audiences. But they're both buyers, right? And so if you're putting out this blanket buyer statement, they may not resonate or connect with you, and you're missing out on that connection, and they're not going to work with you that's coming up here in a little bit about the connection part.
Well, here's the thing.
Does your message resonate with your audience, or are you just saying stuff just because you're a realtor? A lot of people post stuff all the time. Like, we see it. We have so many realtors on our Facebook pages that just say, "Hey guys, I'm a realtor, come work with me." Who the hell is going to work with you just because of that? Probably just your friends and family. You're not going to attract outside business from that.
You're going to become a part of the 10% that gives up.
Yeah, because not the 10%.
I'm sorry, 90% that give up.
Yeah, because you have to think about more than just attracting your immediate circle. You're going to run like some agents, and I remember going through this myself, where I was like, I'm going to run through my friends and family and sell them houses, and then I'm going to be out of a pipeline. It's now, how can I attract outside people who haven't worked with me, who know nothing about me? That's important. And that's the big thing on if you're going to take this into a career that's sustainable and scalable.
My thing is and it's sort of still going with this, is that it takes just the same amount of effort to sell $1 million house. Actually, yeah, $1 million house. It actually takes less effort to sell $1 million house than it does to sell three $333,000 houses, right? And so if you're focusing your avatar on $1 million buyers, then it's less work for more money.
Yeah, and same thing kind of like with leases. I see a lot of people who say, "Oh, you should if you don't have any business going on, work with leases." Leases are just as much work, if not more work, than working with buyers and sellers for a fraction of the money.
I know.
And I know it's tempting because you sit there and you think,
I need money now.
And maybe these people will become buyers in the future. I don't know about you. I have not had a single person who's rented that's a lie. I have one person right now, but it's taken 2.5 years for this person to become a buyer. And so if you're going to go through it, like, you might as well attract people who are ready right now, as opposed to the easy money, which isn't that easy. I wasted more time and money on a renter lead than any buyer or seller lead I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I've shown them multiple houses and trying to get them to go through, and then just to find out like their situation is much worse than they led me on, and I should have never worked with them to begin with.
Yeah. I struggle with this idea because my first year I did do 19 leases, some crazy amount of leases.
I remember that.
And I think 7 of them actually became buyers and sellers. So maybe if you are a newer agent and it's all you have, I would say, yeah, at least get experience with
absolutely.
Within your first couple of years.
If it's all you have, there's no use in saying no.
Yeah.
It's just mainly like if you're sitting there and you're looking at your business and you're saying, what do I need to focus on to grow and scale? Leases are not it.
100%.
Leases are not it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like year 4 or year 5 is when I just stopped saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't do leases anymore." And
Right, because the time spent became not worth your time anymore.
Exactly, and it took away from me lead generating towards clients that were making me $15,000, $20,000 commissions.
Yeah, and a ninja trick that you want to eventually get to, John taught me this actually, is you want to value your time. Like we kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier. And what we mean by that is think of your time as a resource that if you're going to spend it, it's worth a dollar amount. $100 an hour is what I think a realtor should value their time, like a beginning realtor needs to value their time at. So you have to ask yourself, is this client, let's say you're going to make $400 off of a listing or a lease client. Are you going to spend more than 4 hours on them? If you are now losing money on that exchange. So if you don't have that in place, that's just kind of a guideline. I'm not saying you have, like, I remember when I started, I was like, okay, if my time's worth $50 an hour, I can only spend this much time on a lease. I need to spend this much time on whatever, or this video needs to be worth $100 because I spent 2 hours on it. So that changed the way that I thought about things. It changed the way like people were, asking if I wanted to make a few bucks to write up a contract for them. Now I'm like, I want 1%. Like if I'm going to spend my time and put my license on the line, I want 1% of whatever the commission is. Versus, sure, I'll do it for $50, and then I'm wasting an hour or 2 hours, whatever, going back and forth multiple times on a contract. Just kind of a baseline. I know I kind of went off the rails there, but
we're really getting into the conversation of scaling, right? So how much is your time worth? And then if it's not worth your amount of time, you can outsource that skill.
And I think it also like comes to if you're going to network. If you're going to a networking event, it's 3 hours long. You need to make $300 worth of network connections to make it worth it.
I think I could do that though. I think I can go to a networking event and make at least $300 worth. That's for sure.
No,
for sure.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm talking about is you just have to make your time valuable to be able to kind of gauge if you're doing things correctly and in a timely manner.
100%. Yeah.
So
I like that.
A little nugget there.
Yeah.
So going back to Suman, we talk about Suman a lot, and I promise not all of this is from Suman's episode, but this one was a great one. He said there's 3 C's to effective content creation. So if you
I wonder if he came up with that or you saw that somewhere else.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
I didn't press him on it, but he utilized it, and it's worked out for him. Yeah. So he shared with us the 3 C's of content creation. It's connection, competency, and consistency. This dude is a $144 million producer in his first 2 years as a realtor. And that was probably worth $144 million. That little lesson right there, in my opinion. That's a high IQ, high level lesson there.
Repeat it again.
So 3 C's: connection, competency, consistency.
And every single video, every single piece of content, it's connection, competency, consistency.
Yes. So, and the reason that's important, and he said that his lead one is connection. Here's why. He described content creation and people watching your videos as a 3-part lock, or where it's like a 3 combination lock. And each one of those C's is one of those levels or one of those locks. If you unlock 2 of them, you don't unlock the lock. You haven't made that true connection with that client, and they're not going to use you. They're going to take your content and what you're putting out, and they're going to go work with someone who they do like, know, and trust. And so that's why the connection part is so important. He said one of his most effective videos was a blurry, low quality video of him just hitting record and talking about himself and his family and his situation. He relocated, and people connect with him because of that. And then they start looking at his other content going, he said, by the time they reach out to me, they've already seen me. They know what my story is. They've already accepted, that I'm Asian and that I'm a man and that this or that. And so they're not going to reach out to me if they don't want to work with me. They already know what I'm about.
100%.
And that's so important. I was like, man, it made me look back at my own content and go, I'm missing one of the 3 C's in my content. I need to beef it up a little bit. So really, really solid lesson there. So if you only have 2 of the C's unlocked, the lock is still locked. Once you unlock all 3, that's where the magic is.
Man, we got a lot of lessons on these notes.
Hell yeah, we do.
I don't think we'll be able to get through all of them.
We're going to do our best to get through as many of these as possible.
Okay, so the next lesson is, when should you make the decision to go full-time in real estate?
You're the only person who knows when the right time is going to be. Everyone's situation is different. You know, John did, you were working at Kirby for a little bit while you were getting your stuff going.
No, actually.
No? None of it overlapped? You just quit straight up?
I straight up quit. I went cold turkey. I was my quick synopsis of the story. I was at a coffee shop, called my wife. I was like, I think I want to get into real estate. She was like, why do you want to get into real estate? And I said, hey, I Googled how to become a millionaire, and the third option was real estate. And I grew up with Joseph's dad was a real estate agent, and he was always paying for people's dinner. And I was like, I want to pay for people's dinner. And she was like, well, how are you going to pay for those courses? And I said, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But my thing was I went full time from the get-go, right? I did have about 6 months worth of expenses saved up.
And I think that's important, is your unique situation. Yours was 6 months. Some people, it might be a year. Like, you need to be in a spot where if you don't make any income for an extended amount of time, are you going to be okay?
But the thing is like from 7 a.m. till probably 3 p.m., I worked nothing but real estate. From 3 p.m. till about 7 p.m., I would do Uber, I would walk dogs, I would do anything and everything to make extra cash to pay for things. That was hard for 6 months. I did it for 6 months. I committed to 6 months going all in real estate, as well as doing Uber, walking dogs, doing all that. And it worked out, right? It's not easy, but it worked out. But it's not for everybody, and it's different for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, with my experience, I worked in corporate America. I worked at a telecom company. I had a really cushy, I say cushy, it was freaking terrible. Just from like a mental health perspective, the company wasn't bad, the people weren't bad, but just
from a mental health perspective. And then you got into real estate.
yeah. Well, and then the exchange was my time, right? I didn't have to be at an office that looked like a prison, like with gray walls, and I don't leave my house, I don't leave the cubicle or whatever.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I was working there. I was full time. I stepped down. I went part time, and I did that for a year before I felt like I was in a place where we had paid off our debts. We had no car payments. We were Airbnb-ing a room of ours for extra income. That made me feel comfortable to where if I didn't make anything for 6 months to possibly 10 months, I was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that made it to where I could leave and really go all in.
Yeah.
Jeremy Knight's episode, he said he burned the ships. You are the only person that knows your comfort level and when it's going to be the right time to go all in. And I will say this, my first 12 months, I didn't produce anything to write home about when I was part-time. And whether it's through chance or circumstance or the fact that I was just getting rewarded for the efforts later on, my second year in real estate blew the hell up for me. And that's when I was full-time.
Yeah.
I knew for me, and I've talked about this a lot in past episodes. When did I know going from a part-time job to full-time real estate was it? I was getting calls while I was on the sales floor about people wanted to go look at houses, and I couldn't do it because I was making $20 an hour at a job. And I was like, this is interfering with my ability to make more money. So when your current job is interfering with you servicing your clients at a high level, that's when I think you need to really assess and go, should I go full time?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
And there's a certain level of desire that you need to go full time. Like you need to
if you're not an entrepreneur, stay at your current job.
Yeah.
It is not for you. The worry, the freedom, it's not for everybody. And I think like everyone looks at it and they're like, oh, like if I just get my license, like business is just going to come to me. That is so bullshit. It is the hardest freaking thing you can ever, I think one of the hardest jobs you can pick is to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur.
All the liability, all of the responsibility.
It's all on you.
It's all on you. And yeah, you do have to have a certain level of desire to succeed as an entrepreneur, because if you don't, guess what? You're going to be right back at that job.
A lot of people listening right now are either have come from a job where it was 9 to 5 with rules and expectations and discipline if you didn't do it, or they're still there. You might still be at that job and you're listening to this, resonating with it, going, okay. Entrepreneurship, real estate is no one's holding your hand. It is all on you to get the stuff done. It's so easy to wake up and go, I don't really feel well today. I'm just going to nap. And I'll prospect tomorrow. I'll make those calls tomorrow. I'll put that contract up tomorrow. That's not good, man. You're not going to last. I think the good entrepreneurs, the good realtors are those who are really go-getters, self-starters, and have a fire for success.
Ooh.
And it's just not for everybody. If that is going to be you, if you're the person getting into real estate and you got your license and you're just dipping your toe in and you have no intention of making this your full-time job, please stay out of my way, stay out of my client's way. Like, we're going to run you over. I promise. Yeah. Because my will to work and John's will to work and succeed is going to very fastly put you out of business.
Yeah, I will. I love that. That was awesome. I think, I'm gonna give it a tip for if you've succeeded and now what, right? Because honestly, yes, I have received a little bit of a success, but the thing is I'm not gonna lie. Now that I can afford better bed sheets and better pillows, it's a lot harder to get out of bed because it is way more comfortable, right? And so when you get to a point where it's like, man, I'm comfortable, it's hard to move forward. And sometimes I do have to self-invigorate that motivation. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, if I don't work today, then my next 3 months I may not get a closing, but so
that's another good point, is that you need to prepare for the ups and downs of real estate. Is that it is not, it is crazy. It's unpredictable. Markets change on a dime. John and I, we had some flip properties, and full transparency, like, we're losing money on them because the market turned. We probably missed the peak of the market by 5 weeks. Yeah. When we got into it, there was no sign of anything going to go wrong. Nothing. Yeah. And we were like, oh shit, we're going to make $100K more than what, on the deals that we were doing. Yeah. And that's not the case, like, now granted, we're not losing money, but, that just speaks to, like, the market turns and it is not going to wait for you. Yeah. And there's ways to make money no matter what the market looks like. So anyway, yeah, you gotta be prepared for that. There's going to be times where you have 3 closings, 5 closings, 7 closings in a month, and then you may go on a 2-month dry spell. Don't blow all that money when you make it. Like, you're sleeping, you got to prepare.
You just had a 10-month close. You had 10 closings in 1 month. You're sleeping good for a couple of weeks, and you're like, holy crap, what do I have for the next 6 months? Yeah. So next lesson, that was awesome, by the way. Next lesson is the power of asking good questions really will change your relationship and the conversations you have with your clients. And so it's just so important to have quality questions for your clients. You want to expand on that?
Yeah. So quality questions. I want you to sit there and think about the conversations you have with your network. When you see someone who's, on your prospect list, or maybe they're not ready right now, or maybe there's someone new that you're being introduced to, what do those conversations look like? How do you slip real estate into this conversation without smelling like a commission breath or used car salesman or anything like that? We use the Ford method, which is not something that we invented. I don't know who we can accredit to that, but it's very popular. FORD. Ask about people's family. What do people love? Their family. Mm-hmm. You start getting into like immediately some really intimate connection when you start asking about people to talk about their family. Yeah. Like, when I know, like, I play hockey, and when a new guy's out here, I'll introduce myself and I'll say, like, hey man, like, what brought you to the area? You have family out here? immediately. Like that's breaking down a barrier of like, I'm going to get to know this person a little bit better. Family, occupation. What do you do for work? Are you a burger flipper, or are you like a mid-level CEO of a company? You know what I mean? Like you're trying to piece together, again, kind of like the avatar of this person that you know nothing about, and you're trying to figure out the basis of who they are and what they're about. So family, occupation, recreation. What do you do for fun? What do you care about? And then lastly, D, what are your dreams? Like, hey man, what brought you out to Austin? Like, what's the plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Those kind of questions are probably ones they don't get asked a lot by their everyday interactions. And so you're getting to know this person on such a deeper level. And sometimes that dream, the dreams that they're asking about include, man, I want 5 acres on a ranch in Bastrop, Texas.
Yeah.
Hey, I can help you with that.
Or, I agree. And it's funny because one time when I first got into real estate, I was using the Ford method. And he caught me. He was like, "Are you using the Ford method?" He's like, "Are you about to ask me about my dreams?"
That's funny. That's funny.
Like, yes.
Yes, I am. What are they?
Yeah.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah, I know, right? But on the dreams part, sometimes it's like, well, I'd love to start a business, selling I don't know, Philly ice or whatever. I don't know. And you're like, oh, cool. Well, I've got a friend that's from Philly and he's a business owner. Maybe you could.
How can I help you with that?
How could I help you with that? And then that just goes back to adding value. Like, oh, awesome. Your dream is to own a trampoline park. Well, I've got friends that sell trampolines, and just being that connector as well is really important.
Yeah. The connector part, like you becoming the source of knowledge and connection is really big.
Ooh. Some of the richest people I know, most wealthy people I know, are amazing connectors.
Yeah. And if you don't have that in your network, maybe that's you identifying a weakness and something that you can expand upon, so that next time maybe your past clients, when they need, and it doesn't have to be that you're connecting, the dream aspect, right? Where it's, hey, I want to open up what is it? I'll just use your example, the trampoline park. Oh, I know a trampoline guy. That doesn't necessarily have to be you. It's, do you know an HVAC technician? Mm-hmm. Do you know a plumber? Do you know an electrician? The things that people are going to need within real estate and that your past clients are most likely going to need at some point throughout their ownership journey.
And guess who they're going to reach out to when they need a real estate agent?
You, the person that connected.
Yep.
Yep. When you prove that you're the expert and that they can go to you for all these things, that's just setting you up for repeat business and for referrals. Like, hey, everything I needed, John or Jordan were able to provide for me.
Yeah.
We're sprinkling some nuggets in here.
I know.
This is a great
what
episode.
the heck is going on here? And also, we'll go to the next one real quick. But I wrote a note and it said, questions help pinpoint your client's pain to quickly navigate how you can best serve them. And I think you said that recently, right? So it's really important to navigate your client's journey, right? Where are they? Are they about to go through a divorce? Like that helps you with the communication when it comes to talking to the husband, talking to the wife, right? Communication, like what kind of communication are you going to go? Because guess what? If you didn't know that they were about to have a divorce and they didn't share that with you, and now you're only talking to one client and the other client's like, why are you only talking to him? Because do you favor him more? I don't want to work with you anymore. Like, and that's happened before.
Yeah.
So I didn't know they were going through a divorce.
And navigating the journey is big because, like, let's say you have a new build client. Do you have a third-party inspector ready to go that you can recommend to them? They might need one.
Yeah.
Just little things like that where, what can go wrong? How can I anticipate what these people are going to need and how I can better connect them and serve them? So, love that.
This next tip is one of my favorite tips.
Here, you go ahead. You dive into it then.
Okay. So... Oh wait.
This is a tip for your listing presentations or your buyer consults. This one is big. It's something I've implemented in mine. People have utilized it, and I know John does this with his clients. That's where I got the idea from. Something that separates you, because here's the thing: clients like to interview agents. Don't assume that just because you know someone, you're going to be the one person that they go with. And it's more likely that if someone doesn't know you, they're interviewing multiple agents to see who's going to be the best fit for them. And what is one way that you can separate yourself from every agent that you're going to be interviewing or that they're going to be interviewing with during that time that you're doing your consult with them? Yeah. Drop it on them.
During the 2021 frenzy, everybody wanted to sell their house because they knew that they could get a ton of money, right? But then people were super greedy and they were like, what agent is going to sell my house for the most amount of money, right? And so what I did was I put references. I literally put past clients of clients that I've sold their houses for over asking price or did a really good job. I put past references on my presentation and I pointed it out. I said, hey, look, this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person, I've sold their house too. And the thing is if you want to call them and personally ask them what their experience was with working with me, go ahead. You have my permission. I have their permission. Call them and just see what it was like actually work with me. Don't go on Google. I mean, you can go on Google, but the thing is just reading text and, it's not as genuine as actually having a conversation with my past clients, right? And so what happened was these listings, these sellers were calling my past clients and saying, hey, I just wanted to see real quick, how was it working with him? Was I actually working with him or was I working with his team? Was I working with his team or was I working with his brokerage? And the thing was my clients would be like, nah, he had great communication. He sold my house for X amount and, and the plan was in place. He told me the plan. And it was cool because my past clients would call me and be like, hey, John, Mitch just called me and asked me how my experience was working with him. And I talked you up like crazy. And what happened is when they called me to let me know, I would say, that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Hey, what's your favorite restaurant? Right. And then I would reward them, right? I'm starting to condition some of my past clients to refer me. And every time they refer me, guess what? They get a little gift, right? It's because they're thinking of me as the first person that comes to mind when referring real estate business.
When every single agent, how many agents are going to go into a listing presentation and be like, yeah, I did okay. I've helped a few clients and yeah, they were happy. Okay. No, everyone's going to hype themselves up.
Yeah.
And the conversation kind of sounds the same with, you're not going to talk bad on yourself. You're not going to talk about your failures. Everyone is coming with I'm the person for you.
Yeah.
When you can get other people's influence to go to bat for you, that's a game changer.
Game changer. That's like literally, if you can take anything from this episode, is leveraging other people's influence. Like that's what we've been doing this entire year. Honestly, that's one secret that we've been using to help our podcast is let's get people that already have big followings. Let's get people that have influence and let's listen to them. Right. And what happens is we gain credibility because we're here and offering value with those people.
It's such a boss move to be like, I'm going to let my past clients talk me up. I don't need to talk myself up. I'm going to let you talk directly with people I've helped and that are going to champion me. Boom. I mean, that's a mic drop moment. We got I know we're running out of time here, so we're going to be really quick with this because there's important lessons that we want to wrap up with. The brokerage that you're at and maybe a mentor can change the trajectory of your career, but it all comes down to you. We see it so often where people will join a brokerage and by the next month they're at 3 different brokerages and you're like, oh my God, they're just brokerage hopping, like hoping that something's going to save their career and that it's just going to change. Like, don't get me wrong. Having a mentor and in a brokerage that does believe in you and will give you that hands-on experience, especially when you're a new agent, I think is super critical. If you're listening to this and you're assessing your place within your brokerage or on your team and you feel like you're not getting the development and the attention and time that you need as someone who is green in this and knows nothing about what you're doing, that may not be the best fit for you. Mm-hmm. And you need to ask questions when you're interviewing these brokerages about what they're going to do for you so that you don't just get attracted by a split, right? Because here's the thing. If you're doing a 70-30 split at a brokerage that doesn't do anything for you, and you're just sitting there spinning your wheels with you're just paying a desk fee every month, you're paying your dues every quarter, but you're not getting anything, and your business is the same as it was 3 months ago, get the hell out of there. You could go to a different brokerage. Maybe there's 60-40, right? But they give you leads, or they have like a networking event. They do this or that for you. Having that is worth the 10% cut that you're going to get. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can have 100% of a grape or 50% of a watermelon. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so just, and I hope that I got that message clear, is that don't just get caught up in your split. Go with someone who's going to take time to develop you. Because when you're green, that is the most critical time for your business to develop.
And also, you do need to self-assess how much you are putting into it, though, right? So if you're not asking enough questions, and you're not going to the office, and you're not talking to enough people,
then it's not on the broker at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there that join brokerages and stay at home, and then they're not seeing results, and then they put the blame on the broker.
And they're like, this brokerage sucks. It's like, no, you suck.
Exactly. And so that's the thing, is like, for me, I always try to self-assess. Am I doing the work right? Am I putting in the hours? Am I asking the right questions? Am I, planning correctly throughout the week? And am I doing the steps and processes that I've already put in place? And if I haven't, then that's my fault.
Yeah. I mean, to assess it, take a hard look in the mirror before you start looking at other places to point that finger.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, what a great episode. I mean, I feel like we were buzzing.
That was jam-packed with value.
That was the culmination of like 25 episodes worth of content in hopefully a bite-sized hour for you. So we appreciate y'all listening. John, where can people connect with you online?
At John Michael Perez on Instagram. But I will say one thing. Hey, guys, I want to really appreciate you guys for listening. I think one of our goals is to transform the real estate industry and just give agents hope, right? Like, it's possible to succeed in real estate, because the thing is real estate can provide opportunities not only for your family, but for your community. And if you are listening to our podcast and you're implementing some of the strategies and the tactics that we're willingly giving you for free, you are going to change your community. You're going to change your life. And one day your kids are going to be like, man, thank you so much for putting in the work for me, because now I can go to college. Now you can afford a car for your kid. Now your wife doesn't have to work at her job anymore because you put in the work and you were a positive influence on your community.
Hot damn. Mic drop. Couldn't have said it better myself. So where can people connect with you?
At John Michael Perez on Instagram. And I think it's John Michael Perez on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's all at Jordan Sells ATX. Thank you guys so much for listening. Fantastic episode. And if you liked it, please leave us a comment. Subscribe to our channels. We have a YouTube channel where you can see the video version of this podcast. But yeah, thank you guys. Like John said, sincerest thank you for listening. And we hope that, like John said, that you implement this stuff. We're doing this for free because we want to make better agents. And we've made the mistakes so you don't have to. Mm-hmm. Y'all go be great in your local markets. We will see y'all in the next one.